Hey y'all, it's Leslie with Cortiva Collection, and today I get to sit down with a new friend, AJ, from Taimly HR Solutions. And I like to play a little game with actually some of my old friends, because sometimes we actually don't know, and with my new friends in a game called, what is it that you actually do for a living? Like, how do you actually make money? So I want to hear, like, what is your shining star in the business that you guys run?
Well, the shining star of the business is my wife.
Okay.
So
good answer.
Yeah, I've been married about 9 years, and it took me 8 of those 9 years to finally convince her to start our own firm.
Okay.
So she's the founder and principal consultant for Taimly HR Solutions. It's about to be Taimly Consulting. We're definitely in the rebrand phase right now. Where her background has been over 30 years on helping businesses stay compliant. So the biggest risk on any business right now is how they handle and manage their employees in their business. When you're a smaller company and you start out your company, you're doing everything, you're on your own. You're doing it in the weeds, you're trying to save the money, it's hard to outsource. So now what we like to do is we like to come in and be their fractional HR model, their outsourced HR model. What we do is come in, and typically how we get all our clients is we first come in and do an assessment on them. We do a deep level audit on their pay practices, their compliance, their policies, their handbooks, everything that they have put in their business to manage their business and their people. Because I like to say, in your business, in any business, what is your number one asset to your business?
I would say your systems and the people that you're able to delegate with.
It's your people.
It's your people.
And
so
then,
that's the second part.
Absolutely. And then with your people, also, what is your biggest risk in your business?
They're not going to do what you would like them to do, or in the way that you like, or that they would leave and take your secret sauce.
It's your people, right? So your biggest asset is typically your people, and as you're growing and scaling your business, and then your biggest liability with that is also your people. Because if you're mismanaging your people and you don't have the correct policies in place and the trainings in place, your pay practices are wrong, that one disgruntled employee or ex-employee, depending if they left on their own or you fired them or however, that's all it takes. That one complaint, they go to the EEOC or they go hire an attorney, and now you are under investigation. Your pay practices, your policies, everything is being audited from and scrutinized from the very beginning of the business. So if you're handling it like the Wild West, like Arizona is out here, a little bit of the Wild West, you are setting yourself up for heartache, really. And out of all the small businesses, you know, small business in the United States, half of the GDP in the United States is considered small business. 95% on average of small businesses go out of business in the first 3 years. And it's not always because they have a bad product, a bad service, or bad business models, because they get hit with a lawsuit and they can't afford to pay the settlement.
Interesting.
And so they go bankrupt. So we are there to protect from founders all the way up to enterprise level and make sure that you are doing everything diligently, correctly, ethical, moral, and compliant.
Very awesome, very awesome. So when is it, AJ, that you would say is the best time to hire your firm? Like, is there a certain amount of employees? Is there a certain amount of revenue? Like, is it like, hey, I'm about to hire my first employee and I want to do it right from the beginning? What would you say to that?
Right. So that's a great question, and that's why we've actually developed different products or services to make sure that we don't like to turn down business, right? So the best time, or typically most of our clients are going to be already in the $1 to $3 million range, all the way up to $50 million range, where they're going to look at outsourcing their HR, because typically at that point they're not going to be able to hire or afford to hire somebody that really knows the compliance side of business. And what they're going to do is have their office manager, the husband or the wife, is going to be handling it. They're going to be handling the onboarding and the job descriptions. They're going to try to handle everything themselves, right? So, but once they get to that point of where they're really trying to scale their business and try to break out of that $1 or $3 million in revenue, they need to really
revenue, not bottom line revenue, top line revenue.
Top line revenue.
Okay, got
They're
it.
trying to get to that next break point. And we understand break points in business, right? When they're trying to get to that next break point, they need to really outsource certain parts of their business. Whether it's the financial, they can bring in a fractional CFO, COO, somebody that has executive level expertise and knowledge, but they don't have to pay that $250, $350 salary range.
Totally.
They're going to hire somebody on the outside that has that knowledge, has that expertise, and really help them build and scale their business to that next breakpoint in revenue, where they can start stepping away from handling all the operational side and focus on what they do best. And what they do best is how they started their business, why they started the business, and how they grew that business to that point. Now you need to start bringing in professionals that can help you get to that next point. So what we like to say, honestly, is you can bring us on anytime, because we'll have a product for you right from the founder before you start hiring your first employee. We'll give you an HR business.
$1 to $3 million is not chump change here. So
no. Yeah, $500,000 that you can handle it when you get to about $500,000 in revenue.
You're hiring people before $1 million. You're hiring people typically before $500,000.
You're bringing people in, and you can get away with that. You can get away with doing things not compliant and not ethically, but you can get away with it. You're small enough where it's really not going to hurt you. But once you start setting your visions on and you have a successful business and you know things are going well, and you really want to start like, okay, now I need to be taken seriously, I need to be a professional in my industry. Now you need to consider bringing in an outsource. So you can start small. You can start small for, $1,000 a month, where we just handle onboarding and offboarding for you, make sure your documents are correct, we do an audit on you, and then as you start to grow and scale, we want to grow and scale with you. We want to make sure that we're with you that whole step of the ride, so you hit your first $100 million in revenue. Right, so we're gonna set you up for
the first $100 million in revenue. You heard that? That's what they help you do.
That's your goal, right? That's the goal. Yeah, the first 1 to 3 and 10. That's chump change. We want to see you get 100 and beyond. And when 100 and beyond is, you're gonna have your whole department at that point. We'll have recruit set you up for that as well.
Well, that's really cool, because what I heard about your lovely, beautiful, amazing wife that I can't wait to meet is that her background is with Deloitte & Touche, which means that she's worked with companies that do $100 million in revenue. So that doesn't scare her. And that's pretty cool, because the companies that I've used and hired in the past from a fractional HR perspective, like they don't have that kind of experience, right? No. So to be able to give that type of compliance, right, on a smaller level or a fractional level that people can actually afford, that's massive, guys. That's massive. That's
absolutely. And then I'm not billable. So everything that you have any problems or questions or anything that, concerns whatsoever, you can come to me first. I don't charge you for that. I'm just part of the business development.
With that
Change
your business.
No. Wow. I'm a free resource, but we outsource everything else, right?
Awesome. Well, thank you for laughing with me today. Thank you for sharing your vision.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
And congrats to your wife for leaving the corporate world and to going off on her own.
Yeah, so we're just here to support you.
Absolutely. And so yes, again, Leslie with Cortiva Collection, and figuring out what do our friends really do for a living and how do they actually make money. Bye, y'all.